So, how to stay motivated when you're going through personal problems? You always hear it's you gotta leave work at work and home, but for a lot of us, it's easier said than done. If you got a heart, it can be difficult to go through things, especially the things that you can't control. Let's say someone's sick, or you're going through a breakup, or there's a lot of times, especially in sales, but in business in general, that you're obviously going to be beleaguered by personal issues and things that you have to overcome. That said, it's actually a pretty easy fix. It's not one of those ones where you got to do step 1 through 7. It's actually really, really simple. It's one step to leave home at home and work at work. And it's that your goal just has to be massive. If your goal is big enough, there's no amount of personal BS that's going to get in the way. And so the answer to the problem is, yeah, that's great, but I've got a goal. It's not working. Well, you've got to make that goal mean more. You have to find a way to make that goal more meaningful for you. So there's really two strains. Number one is if you've got a goal and it's not doing the trick, or number two, if you don't have a goal. And the solutions are actually pretty similar. So let's go if you don't have a goal first, right? So if you don't actually have a meaningful goal, you've got to follow the model why, what, how. Why, what, how. So how that works is, number one, you've got to start with the why. You hear that very commonly in business, productivity. Start with why. What the why is, you basically want to write down all the things that matter to you, all your core values, the things that you want to experience, the things that you most want to, you want to have in your life. If you imagine the perfect life for you as you get older, what would it look like? What kind of experiences do you want to have? What kind of things do you want to check off the bucket list? But if you can get at least 7, it's really, really important. So it can be things like, I love teaching, for instance. So of course what I do is, and my goal is going to involve me teaching. I want to empower people. I love public speaking. I love, those are the things I enjoy, but there's also things I want to do. I want to make $1 million in a year. I want to do, there's all sorts of things like that I'm sort of, I'm on my way to. But understanding the why before you come up with the what. So once you've got all the whys, then what you've got to do is correlate that. So it's actually a pretty easy process once you can see it all out in front of you. You'll kind of get like oh, duh, why didn't I think of that? But you'll then have a chance to come up with a good what. Now the what is you want to find some purpose in it, which is what comes from your why. But it also needs to come from competency, because if you're doing things that you're not good at, you're not going to get that positive feedback. You're not going to want to keep going at it because you're not winning enough. So you'll have to juxtapose the things that you love and that you want with something that you're really good at, and preferably something that can make you some money. And in a perfect world, you'd want some element of contribution. You'd want to be able to give back too. So that's where you find the what is. What do you love? What are you good at? What makes money? What helps others? And something that involves preferably every one of the important values that you've listed in your why. So now you've got your why, then you've got your what. The next step you have to do is your how. One of my favorite quotes, one of my old admins said to me once, she says, I was a bit stressed out with a lot of work once, and she says, how do you eat an elephant? And I go, I don't know. Well, you got to cut it into pieces. So cutting the elephant into pieces is about breaking down your goal into as many steps as possible. And I actually start at the end and then work backwards. So I call it back to the future, where I'll start at the very big picture goal. So me, I want 100 staff. I want to be doing, there's a lot of things I want to do. So, okay, well, what do I need right before I do that? What do I need right before I do that? And then what you're going to get is a baby step right in front of you, the easiest possible thing for you to then do. And that, if you get rid of that one thing, get that out of the way right away, instantly you've generated momentum, and that's going to give you, that momentum is going to give you belief, and you're going to be able to carry that forward. And that's going to then make you more motivated for your goal. Thus, you're going to have less things to worry about when you've got personal problems. So that's if you don't have a goal. Now, if you do have a goal, you kind of do the exact same thing, but you just kind of reverse the order. So what you're trying to do is bolster that goal. You're trying to add some more power to it, some more potency. So how you do that, you just change the order. It's what, why, how. So you go what first, then why, then how. So you've got the goal, so you start with the what. Now you've got to get all your whys out again. So you still come up with your whys, but you just have to cross-reference each of those with your what and make sure that they correlate. 9 times out of 10, it's still going to correlate. If they don't, maybe it's time to come up with a new goal. Maybe you do need to make a change. You might need to do something different, right? But 9 times out of 10, it's going to just be a gentle, bit of accountability, a little reminder to go, hey, actually, yeah, I am doing something important, and it's going to give me everything I wanted. If your goal is I want to support my mom because she gave me everything, it's like, cool. Well, is sooking about at work and not performing going to help you, get you closer to helping your mom? What's more important? You being sad about your girlfriend that you were trying to break up with anyway, or you providing a house for your mom? And when you compare them like that, it's really, really easy. So it's just a good metric to help you compare your goals to bolster it a bit more. Then obviously you can still do the hows, which is always good to plan. You always want to be planning and breaking down your priorities and steps. So that's really important. So it's not actually a vastly complex, system, but the solution's really, really easy. If you really, really want to make sure that you are leaving home at home and you're not taking your personal problems with you and letting it affect your performance, well, it's pretty easy. Just make sure your goal is massive and you're not going to have any problems. So use that why, what, how, or that what, why, how, if so be. Make sure you bolster your goals and really, really, really commit to just not letting anything get in your way. Happy hunting, guys.